My wife tells me it goes in these steps. So you have a bunch of ingredients, right? So a lot of the ingredients matter when it comes to breaking the cake. And then you have to mix the ingredients in a bowl correctly. So you have to put the ingredients in at the right time, you have to stir it in the right time, otherwise you might have a clumpy mess. Then you have to put it in the oven and bake it at a very specific temperature. And then you make it look nice by putting frosting on it, and at the end of it you have a nice delicious cake that everyone wants to go home and eat, right? So the recipe matters with this too. So in a lot of therapy situations, people rely on one therapy. Chiropractors might rely on just adjusting your neck. Physical therapists might just have you look at a dot and shake your head. ENTs might do an epidural for a patient that feels dizzy. So if the recipe matters, then we can't just rely on one single thing to try to fix everything. Now, if one single thing is the cause of your issue, then yeah, we can do that and it'll work for some people, for most people. But if someone has multiple sensory issues going on, then we have to address all those different senses. So if the recipe matters, then maybe the person needs an upper cervical adjustment first. And then they need to get their head positioning exercises in, so we teach the brain where to recognize where straight is. And then we give them head shaking exercises that can make the rise super stable. And then we give them complicated visual stimuli so their eyes are able to target moving things a lot more easily. And at the end of it all, you have a delicious cake at the end to take home. Or that delicious cake just represents you have your balance back. So that's the story of how we address things in our office. So we have some pretty cool tools and technology to help make an accurate assessment and accurate diagnosis. And then we have a lot of different ways to help people with dizziness and imbalance feel a lot better. So if this is something that ever interests you, if you know people that have dizziness or have these vestibular issues, then have them give us a call. We'll chat to them for no charge, and if we think we'll help them, we'll let them know. If we don't think that will help them, we'll let them know that too, because at the end of the day, it's just about trying to figure out what's going to help that person, and I only want to take on cases that I feel like I can help. So that's the promise that you always get from our office. Any questions?
I just said about the spinning
Okay.
when I woke up. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to bring it up next to your appointment then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to know how to get off my medication because I'm on medication for that.
Okay. And you had a lot of issues. Have you had dizziness for a while?
Yeah, when I do have them the last 5 days, I can't even move from my bed. That's
Okay.
how bad I have that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't open my eyes, I'm afraid.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something if you want to talk in private, then we could set up a time for a consultation. I'm happy to chat about your options and figure out if there's something we can do to help. Yes?
I know you treated me for 2 or 3 of those things up there, but one question you had mentioned about dizziness or something like that. Sometimes when I ride my truck for a long time, I ride for like an hour, I get out of the truck and I get this sensation with my ears start to ring and like a deadening.
Okay.
Why is that? Is that part of the vertigo as well?
So it could be affecting that vestibular nerve. So that vestibular nerve, for some people, it's going to make you feel dizzy, and if it hits another part of the nerve, then it might affect that nerve that goes into the hearing apparatus, so that cochlea. So usually when we hear about that, we're either thinking it might be Meniere's contributing to it, or it might be vestibular neuritis, or one of those portions contributing to it too. Your history doesn't suggest Meniere's, but it might be more so inflammation hitting that inner ear. It might be contributing towards that feeling, but that's something we could take a closer look at.
Okay. I have to find out if it's, when I had the vertigo, I get that, or when I had not had the vertigo, am I getting it? I have to figure that out. I haven't really put that together.
Okay.
But listen to that up there, what you were saying. I was like, yeah, sometimes I get out of the truck and I get this.
Okay, yeah, that's something that we could talk about a little bit too, because there's some conditions where that inner ear, if the bony structures around the inner ear, there are little holes in it, it could also create some symptoms of that too, and that affects your hearing. So that's a situation where, let's say someone rings their horn and loud next to you, and then It just gives you a small sense of vertigo when that loud sound comes in. So there's types of conditions that cause that type of vertigo too, and it can be associated with ringing as well, so that's something we might have to look into too.
Okay. All right.
Anything else? Alright, great. So as our gift for you today, we got some cool t-shirts that's going to say Got Posture on them. So we got some of those t-shirts for you guys. So if you like them, you can wear them at the gym or wear them to bed. But either way, you got a t-shirt to take home. We got some snacks and drinks for you, so feel free to enjoy it. And if you want to set up a time to chat about this, then you can talk to Tammy and she can help you set up a time for a complimentary consultation. Okay?
Okay, that's good.
Good, good, thank you.
All right.
I do have one question.
Sure.
If you've been diagnosed, as my husband has the ringing, has the
Yeah.
tinnitus and hearing loss, but it was supposedly listening to high pitch.
Yeah.
That's not to do that, anything's done with sound.
Probably
It's
not.
just
If it's-
ruined it from the
Yeah.
inside.
If they blew out the inner ear from just a high, loud sound, then it's probably not going to resolve. Might be some things they could do to compensate for it, but it's probably nothing's going to fix that. At least not at this point.
Hearing loss, I think you can deal with, but it's that ringing out the ears that's.
Yeah, ringing the ears from really loud noises, really tough for us
It
to.
wasn't loud, it was the high pitch, he was
Okay.
a Bell South tech, so he was listening to tones.
For that type, there might be some things we could do. So there's things called hearing adaptation, where we find a way to mimic that tone and have them listen to that tone for a couple of minutes and direct that therapy for him for a few times. Sometimes it can make that, it makes his brain start to ignore that tone, so he doesn't, even though it's still there, he won't notice it quite as much.
Okay, he's getting good at ignoring it, but not great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let him know, maybe he'll come. with
Sounds good.
time and say,
Yeah, at the very least, talk to him or let him know if they think it's worthwhile. If it's not, then I'll direct them elsewhere.
okay, sounds good.
What size t-shirt are you?
Oh, usually small, well, depends on how.
Good shot.
What is it? Okay.
Large, extra large?
Large.
Well, thank you.
Yes, are you there already? I'm at the Vertigo, thing that I told you. Because I have a swing, I have a 30. I'm still there, I'm gonna come right now to pick you up, okay? I'll buy you some name and, thing. Yeah, I'll be right there, Alex, okay?
I just thought it was
I
long.
don't really,
Didn't
I'm,
babysit.
yeah, by Panda Express,
Yeah,
whatever
sometimes
the
it's
mall
issues
there,
on-
okay? Okay, I'll be right there. Love you too.
Hearing goes.
Yeah, we can take a look at that. T-shirt?
Thank you.
Well, great. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Glad you
A little
enjoyed
bit more. Yeah, how come this guy was saying
it. He's still getting the ropes.
that? Does he?
Yeah, but I have to.
He actually does some talks around, just as, promoting himself as coming into the office, so he does some presentations at, Century Village, and, you got another talk lined up sometime?
Mommy, I told you. Stay at the gas station right there. Okay, love you too.
Yeah, we'll, see if it's worth posting on YouTube.
I've interrupted the input a couple times.
It's okay.
Good going. So, see you soon.
See you, Clayton.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
So maybe. Oh, you have a video?